Hi friends! Hopefully you're watching this on a Saturday morning. When I was a kid, we looked forward to Saturday mornings because we could watch Saturday morning cartoons. And we have a friend that has been teaching at the Warwick Center for the Arts since 1998. And the very first class he taught, the very first art class or cartooning class was here. And his name is Jerry Shippee. He has a business called Shippeetoons, and we've invited him to come into our classroom and do some tutorial videos for you that we will broadcast on YouTube on Saturday mornings for your enjoyment. They're short and pretty straightforward. He'll give you directions on how to draw different characters. And actually, he created a coloring book for the Audubon Society of Rhode Island. And so this one is all about backyard birds. So these are some of his drawings. And this is a coloring book that you can purchase from the Warwick Center for the Arts. And there's lots of really wonderful illustrations and fun facts in here. Jerry went to school for cartooning and character illustration. It's actually what he wanted to do since he was a little kid. Anyway, without further ado, I'm going to hand this over to Jerry, who is going to show you on screen exactly how to draw these characters and make your own drawings that you can then color in or maybe even make copies of and share with your friends. So you're going to see the first video today, and we hope you tune back in to see us the following week.
How's everybody doing? Ready to do some more coloring book drawing? A drawing for coloring books? So I've shown you a few so far, things that you could do. Dragon, monster trucks, some unknown cartoon character named Pikachu. But it's been mentioned to me that some of you might want to do something from what's, I guess, a popular show. Never seen it, but The Mandalorian, Baby Yoda was suggested. Now, until I printed this picture, I had never even looked at Baby Yoda. Haven't drawn him, certainly not. I'm going to be drawing him from this reference picture. You're going to be drawing right along with me. We're going to be doing a coloring book image, not this, but for coloring books. I'm going to show you how I do that and how you're going to do it too. Okay, so I have my picture of Baby Yoda here. And I have my drawing paper. I gotta shift things a little bit here. I want you to be able to see that too. Okay, we're gonna do this pretty quickly, I think. Well, let's do that. I want this to be. Let me adjust this so it fits a little better for you. There we go. Okay. So we have Baby Yoda here. Apparently people think he's cute. And I want him here, but in a way that can fit into a coloring book. So it's the same thing that I've shown you in the other videos, and for those of you who have had my actual in-person classes, you start with shapes. The rough shape of his head is more or less a square in this. I know it looks rounded, we'll get to that. Okay. And then he's got his, and I may have to shift this a little bit, he's got those gigantic ears coming off of there. And the bigger you can make these ears, the cuter. That's one of the reasons why they do that in that show, as well as a lot of other places. And because he's baby, you need to make the eyes bigger and the nose a lot smaller. So I'm gonna, and that was just a triangle, right? I'm gonna put his eyes in here. They're kind of a teardrop shape. And I'm not overly concerned with them being exact yet. I just want them to be roughly where I want them and roughly the size I want them. Now you're going to notice that I brought his eyes in a little closer together, and I'm going to put a little indication for his nose, okay? And then he has to have that kind of mouth, that Yoda mouth. So I'm gonna put a line right where his lip is and, leave some space there, and he's got that Yoda chin, so I wanna indicate that, okay? Obviously I have to adjust a few things, but, and then he's wearing this, I guess it's, sure, I forget what they call those robes. So, just square more or less coming off of that side, and then it's coming up over here. And we're just going to do the top of it. It kind of goes up, and then there, and then there, and I'm obviously using this as a reference. I think what I want to do is change the position of the hand. So I want to put his hand like this, and he's a baby, so his hands are small at this point. Not that Yoda's got gigantic hands anyway. And I just want to do that, and he's got that cuff. For his sleeve, right? And this kind of goes down here, right? And he's got that, I don't know, does he live in the garbage can with Oscar the Grouch? I'm just gonna, put that in there for a shape to finish off the bottom of them, okay? Now, I have the things placed where I want them. I'm going to concentrate more on his eyes, and I'm going to make those. So I want to kind of make his eye a little more teardrop and make it come away from his nose a little bit more. Okay, and I'm going to give him big pupils. He's got, more or less one eye shine. There's two on this one. We can do that. But I'm not trying to draw that exactly. I'm just kind of using that position and using that to inform me about the details of his head in this case. And I want to draw them on here. So now I'm going to indicate his pupils, and I am going to put two eye shines here. Remember now, the style that we're doing is more or less cartoon style, so we are not trying to be photorealistic with this. And I've seen some people who are really, really good at photorealism, and they certainly don't do it in 15 minutes or so. And then I want to show his brow, a little bit of his brow in here. And he's got those wrinkles, even as a baby, that are, well, it's Yoda. They wanted you to recognize him as Yoda, and so they gave him those wrinkles. Hopefully, you weren't wrinkly as a baby. Although you are now. And I want to show the edge of his head because there's a little bit of a separation there. And I want to make that cheek a little bigger and rounder. Not by much, just a little bit. That's round, but it goes into the robe. And robe. And I want to make a little indent here for the ear. And I'm going to round that off a little bit, and then where in our ear what would be cartilage, and I'm going to make that ear bigger, and I'm going to make the robe go over it. But I don't know if that's cartilage in him or not, because he's an alien. Okay. And I haven't met again, make this here bigger, because I'm using this as a reference. Okay? Does not have to be exact. I'm going to he's got those kind of little claws. Not dangerous so much, but more like he didn't feel like trimming his fingernails. And around his hand off, and doing a little bit of a wrinkle there. Because even babies have wrinkles in certain places. Okay. And that's good, that's good, that's good. Indicate the robe there, because he's kind of popping out of his little tube. I'm not going to do the other hand, for the in the interest of time. So now, I got what I want from my reference. I'm going to get rid of that. And we're going to concentrate on this. We're going to ink it, again with any ink that you want. I am going to go maybe a little bit there, because it kind of has that peach fuzz sticking up off his head. And it makes him look cuter, and without it breaks it up a little bit. And let's do his cheek. And we don't want to get too detailed in here. With his neck. And the fold over. Okay. And I'm going to do one thing there. Let's put the collar of the robe right there. Let's do this. I'm going to do a little shading. There we go. So it shows a little separation without overly detailing it. And top of the ears, nice and dark, thick line, and the cartilage, and it's got that little kind of bump on the end. Okay, same thing here, little bump where the ear starts, round it off that little bump on the end, and let's bring this out a little bit. You'll notice how I'm redrawing it, not just tracing over my lines. Okay? I can do this. You want to be kind of sparing with how you do shade when you want people to be coloring this. Because you don't want to make it cloudy. And the other thing is that when you're doing things for print work like that, you can get away with some with you know, doing it digitally, or you know, having it available digitally. But remember that the people who are going to color this are going to have to print it on something, and chances are they're going to print it on 8.5 by 11. So if you put a lot of dark areas in there, when they do, and it's big so it looks good, if they do print it normal size, it's going to shrink it down, and if there's too many dark spaces, it'll be cloudy. It'll not look as good, trust me. That's why I don't have to go crazy filling that in all black. Just light lines for the wrinkles. You notice I'm adjusting those lids a bit. Indicate the nose, where the nose comes in. And I'm just going to go with I trimmed his nose down a little bit. Babies have small noses. Yoda is no exception. And the mouth should be a little thicker, right where the lips come together. And his chin. And I'm going to put a little bit of indication of his wrinkles there. Okay. Now, there's muscles on the inside of the hand, fingers rather. I'm going to indicate them on him too, because his fingers do bend. Although they're a little different than yours. He probably has to get his gloves from a different department than you do. Okay. I'm going to indicate palm, the meat right in here in the palm. Just because I feel like it. And let's show, and I'm going to do the same thing I did with his head. A little bit of an indication to show that that's made of a kind of fluffy material, a little bit. And I'm going to do that just in spots, sparingly. You'll notice the rest of it is nice bold line. A coloring book line, if you will. Okay. And then there, and I'm going to show his pipe, whatever it is he's coming out of. Like I said, I've never seen this show I mean, I guess I'd know what it's about. You know, it's well before Yoda knows all the other characters that we're all familiar with. Okay. I like this. I hope you do too. Hope you had fun doing that. The only thing that I do want to do is I want to make a little separation between him and that. There's some darkness going on in here, and I don't mean the dark side of the force, I mean just light and shadow. So I'm going to indicate that with a series of lines. There are a few ways you could do this. For our purposes, lines work really well. And I'm going to do a series of lines over here, just to show that that pipe, garbage can, wok, soup bowl that he's coming out of gets darker in there. So it shows a little bit of separation between him and the container itself. And it makes it look a lot more interesting. Oh, there we have it. There we go, nice and clean, all erased. And I hope you had fun with this. You should always have fun with this. And you got the video, so take your time. Hit the pause button, rewind, and really know what you're doing as you're doing it, okay? Pretty simple. I have faith in you, and I'll see you next time.